All right, at 7 o'clock, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. The February 23rd, 2026 Erlanger Board of Adjustment hearing to order. And we'll take a roll call to determine if we have a quorum. Mr. Terry Farrow.
Present.
Mr. John McVeigh.
Present.
Mr. Noah Osterhag.
Present.
Mr. Eric Rolfe.
Present.
And Mr. Bob Whalen, present. We do have a quorum. Gentlemen, you've received a copy of the minutes for the June 23rd, 2025 Board of Adjustment meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to be made at this time? It's good. Do you need any time to review, or are you good? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion that the minutes be adopted as presented.
Motion to adopt the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Osterhag.
I second.
Second by Mr. Rolfe. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? No. Minutes passed. To staff, are there any postponements of any scheduled business items to be made at this time?
None at this time, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. And before we open up the public hearing portion of today's meeting, I want to just review kind of our procedures. We got a few more members than normal. On each matter, we do have 3 matters tonight. We will first hear from PDS staff member who will present their report, and then we will hear from the applicant themselves regarding their request. Then we will hear from the public in order, those in favor, those opposed, and then those neutral. Please note that this is the only time you are allowed to speak. The public will not be allowed to kind of Q&A as we go on, so it's essentially speak now, forever hold your peace kind of moment. And if you are not signed in, please do, because if you're not signed in, you will not be called up to speak on the podium. So everybody who wants to speak, are you all signed in? We're good? Okay. The applicant will then have the opportunity to address or clarify any questions, concerns that we have before we close the public comment section, and then move to a discussion amongst the board members. And then the board may choose to ask PDS or the applicant any further questions, clarifications if desired. Then the board will take a vote on the matter, and their final ruling will be made. If there is a tie in the vote, the request is considered to be dead. The board, if they so choose, can make another motion, and we can vote on that. But again, if it ends in a tie, it dies here tonight. So with that, I'll now open up the public hearing where we have, I said, 3 items onto this evening's agenda. The first will be the BOA 250042, applicant of Matthew and Christy Dent. The second one will be BOA 25-0040, Drees applicant Alex Martin for 628, and then the third one will be 626. I have the following people signed in. If you would, please just let me know what matter you're here to speak on. And again, I know who the applicants are, but if you are for, neutral, or against. William Matthews.
BOA 250043.
43, the third, okay. And for, neutral, against?
4 with the condition.
Okay. Austin Perkins. And again, just which matter are you here to speak on?
The last 2.
The 2 and 3, okay. For, neutral, or against? 4, okay. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else before I continue? Again, this is the only time you'll be allowed to speak into the public. Okay. Again, the first item of the evening's public hearing is BOA 250042, 3392 Woodland Hills Drive, applicant Matthew and Christy Dent. The request is number 1, a variance request to reduce the rear yard setback in the residential compact subdivision RCPS zone of the Erlanger zoning ordinance, and 2, an appeal to the zoning administrator's decision regarding the location of the pool equipment. Mr. Dembo, and do you have a copy of your presentation?
Yes, I do. And for the record, I am Patrick Dembo with PDS staff, and I would like to submit the staff report, the submitted materials, and this presentation for the record.
Perfect. And I believe that will be Exhibit D, is what I'll enter that as. Thank you. All right. And Mr. Dembo, were the appropriate notifications made?
Yes, notification was given per KRS 100 requirements.
Thank you. And to all board members, are there any conflicts of interest?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
All right, and Mr. Farrow, I understand you would like to recuse yourself for this matter?
Yes, I would, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for the record. Mr. Farrow is recusing himself for this matter. To all board members, are there any site visits to declare? Nope. And Mr. Dembo, if you would, I need to swear you in. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. And for the record, please state your name and your position with staff.
I'm Patrick Denbo, and I am Senior Planner with PDS staff.
All right, go ahead.
And thank you very much. And this request does involve a variance request for a rear yard setback from 25 feet to 18 feet. That's for a swimming pool. It also involves an appeal to locate pool equipment within the side yard. So this site is approximately 0.24 acres in size. It's located on Woodland Hills Drive, approximately 200 feet west of the intersection with Turkey Foot Road. The site is currently occupied by a single-family home, and the surrounding properties are also all single-family located in Erlanger. So this property, as well as the entire surrounding area, are zoned RCPS. That is a single-family zoning district. The existing land use is reflective of the zoning district, so single-family residential is the existing land use on the site. That is the same for the adjacent surrounding properties. This is a Google Street view that shows the front of the site in question. And this is also a Google Street view. This is showing the side yard where the pool equipment is proposed to be located. The subject house would be on the right side of this image, and the garage shown on the left would be the neighboring house. That would be the neighboring house at 3388 Woodland Hills Drive. And again, this is another aerial photo from Google just showing the site in question. So again, the first request is a variance to reduce the rear yard setback from 25 feet to 18 feet for a swimming pool. This is the submitted site plan for the pool. I will highlight the pool equipment when we get to request number 2. So here in green is the existing home. The proposed 24-foot by 12-foot swimming pool is located here, circled in red. It is proposed to have a setback of 18 feet from the rear yard, where 25 feet is required. It's also shown as 13 feet from the rear of the house and 12 feet from the west property line, and over 35 feet from the eastern property line. The applicant is also indicating, The applicant's also indicating a new 6-foot tall privacy fence with self-latching gates. That is indicated with the white line around the rear of the property. Before any variance is granted, the board must find that the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the character, will not cause a hazard, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the regulations. In making these determinations, the board shall consider, are there special circumstances? Staff finds in this case, yes. The rear yard for the subject site is shallower than most of the other lots located along the street, which may create special circumstances. Would the strict application of the provisions deprive the applicant of reasonable use or create an unnecessary hardship? Again, staff finds yes. The strict application of the provisions of the regulations may result in unnecessary hardships for the applicant. The shallowness of the rear yard does provide some limitations of where accessory structures can be located. And then are there circumstances the result of actions taken by the applicant? And staff finds no. The application is not the result of any actions taken by the applicant. The applicant identified the need for the variance during the normal permitting process. Staff is providing a favorable recommendation on the requested variance. The variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character, will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the regulations. Request number 2 is the appeal to locate the pool equipment to the side yard. The Erlanger zoning ordinance requires that pools and related equipment are only permitted within a rear yard. So taking a look at the submitted plan again, we see the proposed 4x8 pool equipment located within this yellow circle within the side yard. It is proposed to be 3 feet from the side of the house and approximately 15 feet from the side property line. There's also approximately 22 feet between the neighboring garage and the subject house within this location. And then again, in this second yellow line, they are indicating where the pool equipment would be placed if the side yard is not approved. KRS states that appeals to the board may be taken by any person or entity claiming that there is an error in or that they are injuriously affected or aggrieved by an official action, order, requirement, interpretation, grant, refusal, or decision of the zoning administrator. Staff is recommending to uphold the decision of the zoning administrator not to allow pool equipment within the side yard. There is no error in the zoning administrator's decision to not allow pool equipment to be placed in the side yard. The zoning administrator's interpretation is based on the literal language of the zoning ordinance, which restricts pool equipment to the rear yard only. So if approved, zoning and building permits are going to be required, and additionally, all pools must meet enclosure and gate requirements of the Kentucky Building Code. The applicant has also submitted a letter of support signed by the neighboring property owners at 3474 Turkeyfoot and 3388 Woodland Hills Drive, indicated with the yellow stars. And I would be happy to take questions from the board.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Do we have any questions for Mr. Dembo?
Yes, in regards to the equipment being on the side of the house versus the back, what's the purpose to have it in the back versus in the side? And in this particular case, if I read the map right, there's going to be a large fence going completely around to where it would not be seen by anyone. So I would think that maybe if it was going to be exposed, be one thing versus the other way. So I'm not clear on that.
Correct. In this case, there is a privacy fence that will be placed. The applicant also indicated additional landscaping along that side as well. It's from the zoning administrator's standpoint, it's a matter of the zoning ordinance requiring all pool equipment as well as the pools themselves to be within the rear yard. As for the purpose of that type of regulation, it is, meant as a protection when, within the side yard, you are closer to neighboring properties. But as far as the zoning administrator, it's a strict interpretation of the zoning ordinance.
Answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We'll now hear from the applicant, Matthew or Christy Dent. If you both would like to come on up, you're more than welcome to.
Can I provide a photo that I took of the back of the house as well?
Yeah.
It's not in that, I took it.
Absolutely, yeah. If you want to go ahead and submit your photo, that'd be fine. Perfect, thank you. All right, and Mr. Dent, if you would, I do need to swear you in. Would you please raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. And for the record, would you please state your name and your address?
Matthew Dent, 3392 Woodland Hills Drive, Erlanger, Kentucky, 41018.
Very good. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So the photo that I provided, I wanted to show a different view of what the backyard looked like from the fence. So the reason we're asking for the appeal for the pool equipment, that is really the only spot in our backyard to where we can put that equipment without it without it being impacted by the rear setback as well. So the reason that we want to move it to the side is, number one, it won't be in the middle of the yard, lifted and elevated. Our yard's going to have to be elevated probably 3 feet. So if it's in the middle of the yard, it's going to be visible to the street, visible to the neighbors. If we put it on the side where we're proposing, it will be blocked by the fence, the additional landscaping, and it will actually be lower because that part of the ground won't be elevated. So that's the reason why we're asking for the side setback or the appeal on the pool equipment, which is that additional photo that I showed you there. I didn't have anything else. That was really the only piece I wanted to go through, just to kind of give context as to why we were asking for it on the side yard compared to the back of the yard. As we looked at, you saw the pictures of our backyard, it is pretty small, so we don't have a lot of space to put a 4x8 pad. And that looked like the most usable space in our backyard. That's going to be out of the way, and it's not going to be visible to the street, and it still will have enough, I would say, barrier to be blocked from our neighbors. And that side of the house is their garage as well. I do want to point that out. That is a garage. It's not livable area on that side of the house.
Okay. I did have a question for you,
Yeah.
because getting an appeal is not, I guess, routine for us, even though we haven't met in 8 months.
Yeah.
So I actually had to look up, and good thing we have legal here today, I had to look up KRS 100 to understand what the legal test is for us to grant an appeal. And I actually printed it out here, and I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
And again, the legal test to overturn the zoning administrator's decision on an appeal, the board adjustment must find that the incorrect interpretation of the zoning administrator was made. So the question is, what do you feel, what error did the zoning administration make in their interpretation of the statute?
I don't know the entire statute, but that's tough.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No,
I'm just letting you know, for us,
Yeah.
it's not a matter, do we like it, do we agree or not agree that it does look better or doesn't look better? This is the legal test we have to kind of keep in mind when we make our decision.
Let me grab my notes.
Sure, take your time.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, just to kind of reiterate what you say, I mean, this is an appeal of a zoning administrator's opinion, right? So under KRS 100-257, the board needs to make a finding that there was an error in enforcing the zoning ordinance. So it's not a policy disagreement. This isn't like a variance where you say, hey, we can move it to the side yard. This is whether the zoning administrator misapplied the ordinance, exceeded authority, or made a factual or legal mistake. So I think that's just important, that this is a different standard than a variance.
Thank you, Jack, for that clarification. Go ahead.
I don't know if I can answer why I feel that there's an error there. I feel that all houses, I don't know when this zoning ordinance went into place, if it's been in place for a long period of time, but I do feel that houses that have more space between them should have the ability to use that space as long as it's not impacting their neighbors. So again, I don't know the legal piece behind that, but that would be my answer.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Dent? Anybody? We're good. Mrs. Dent, you're good? Okay. All right, and seeing we have no one else to speak on this matter, I will go ahead and close the public portion hearing and open discussion amongst the board members. Any discussion? Again, we're going to take this vote at 1 and then 2. Which the appeal seems to be, I'm not going to say controversial, but a little bit more tricky than the first one. And again, could I ask Jack one more time, just reiterate your comments from earlier that we need to keep in mind?
I'm sorry, so understand this is not like a variance. So the standard here is whether the zoning administrator made an error either in interpreting the facts, interpreting the law, or interpreting the ordinance. What it seems like is that it's an appeal based on what has been presented, that he wants to put it in the side yard. I didn't hear anything as to what error the zoning administrator made, but that's obviously up to you all. But understand that you would have to have a finding of error of either law, ordinance, or facts as to the interpretation of it being in the side yard. You can't say, hey, the side yard is right. That would be beyond the authority of this body. That would be something that we would have to do a text amendment and change the ordinance, frankly.
Gotcha. Thank you, Jack. Any questions or any further discussion or questions for Jack at all? Okay, I will go ahead and close the discussion for board members and invite any member to make a motion. And again, we're going to do one, then two. So the first part was request one, the variance request, and then we will do the appeal request.
On recommendation one, I'm in favor of that particular variance for the rear yard setback.
In reasoning, supporting?
It's the fact of everything that the planning commission had put in here, I agree with.
So if I can read from staff's report here, if you're in agreement with their recommendation, the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, and will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, and will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Didn't want to put words in your mouth, but just wanted to make it there. All right. So Mr. Rolfe has made a motion. A vote is yes, is to a favorable recommendation as staff has presented. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Second by Mr. McVeigh. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote. Mr. Osterhag?
In favor.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Rolfe?
Yes.
Mr. McVeigh?
Yes.
And myself, Mr. Whalen, yes. So yes on recommendation number one. And now we will entertain a motion on the variance, or the, I'm sorry, the appeal request. Do we have a motion on that?
Yeah, I'd like to suggest a recommendation to uphold the decision of the zoning administrator to deny the location of the pool equipment in the side yard. There is no error in the zoning administration's decision to not allow pool equipment to be placed within the side yard. The zoning administration's interpretation is based on the literal language of the zoning ordinance, which restricts pool equipment to the rear yard only.
All right, thank you, Mr. McVeigh. Again, his motion is to uphold staff's recommendation to deny the request. So a vote of yes would be to deny it. Do we have a second?
I second.
Mr. Rolfe seconds, and we'll go ahead and take a roll call vote. Mr. McVeigh?
Aye.
Mr. Rolfe?
Aye.
Mr. Osterhag?
Yes.
And Mr. Whalen, yes. So on request number two, your appeal is denied. All right, so we will move along to the second item on this evening's agenda. And we have BOA 250040, 628 Blue Stream Drive, applicant Drees Company per Alex Martin. The request is a variance to reduce the required front yard setback in the RCVS residential conventional subdivision zone of the Erlanger zoning ordinance. In summary, the applicant is proposing to construct a house on an existing flag lot with a front yard setback of 20 feet where 30 feet is required. And we have Mr. Denbo again.
Yes, and thank you very much. And I would, again, like to submit the staff report, submitted materials, and the presentation for the record.
Yes, thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, just for the record as well, I just want to note that Mr. Farrow is back in attendance.
Yep, thank you very much. And I will mark Mr. Denbo's report here as Exhibit F. And Mr. Denbo, were the appropriate notifications made?
Yes, they were, per KRS 100 requirements.
Thank you. And to all board members, are there any conflicts of interest? None. There are none. Are there any site visits to declare? No. None as well. And Mr. Denbo, once again, if you raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. And for the record, please state your name and your position with PDS.
Thank you very much. Patrick Denbo, I'm senior planner with PDS staff. And again, this is a variance request to reduce the front yard setback from 30 feet to 20 feet. The site in question is approximately 0.65 acres, so just over half an acre. It is a vacant flag lot. A portion of the flag stem is also within the city of Edgewood. However, the building site is located entirely within the city of Erlanger. The lot is part of the Meadows at Grand Garden subdivision. And the property is zoned RCVS, that is a single-family residential zone of the Erlanger zoning ordinance. The portion of the flag stem that is in Edgewood is zoned R1B, which is also a single-family zone. But again, the entire building site is within the city of Erlanger. Existing land use is vacant and open space. That is the same for the surrounding properties. This is the submitted site plan. So these are the building, the building footprint is shown in green with the following setbacks. It is showing 86 feet 10 inches from the western property line where 30 feet is required. That is a front yard. 91 feet and 1/2 inch from the eastern property line where 25 feet is required. That is a rear yard. 10 feet from the north property line where 6 feet is required, that is considered a side yard. And 20 feet from the south property line where 30 feet is required, that is a front yard, and that is the setback that is the subject of this request. So again, the variance request is to reduce the front yard depth from 30 feet to 20 feet along the southern property line. The Erlanger zoning ordinance requires front yards of flag lots to be measured from the lot line that is closest to and most nearly parallel to the street right-of-way and is not part of the flag stem. So this is the illustration from the zoning ordinance to help explain this. You can see in the illustration the front yard setback is measured from that red line. That is the lot line that is closest to and most nearly parallel to the street and is not located within the flag stem. So on this particular property, the lot line in yellow is the lot line that is closest to the street right-of-way and most nearly parallel to the street. Again, before any variance is granted, the board must find that the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the character, will not cause a hazard, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the regulations. And in making these determinations, the board shall consider, are there special circumstances? And staff finds in this case, yes, the requested variance does arise from special circumstances which may not generally apply to land in the general vicinity. This flag lot was established prior to the adoption of the current zoning ordinance, which changed the method for measuring front yard setbacks. The former method was measured from the street right-of-way and included the stem. A rear yard setback variance would have been needed under the previous zoning ordinance, however, in this particular scenario. Would the strict application of the regulations deprive the applicant of reasonable use or create an unnecessary hardship? And staff finds, in this case, no, the strict application of the provisions would not create an unnecessary hardship for the applicant. The lot does contain the necessary space to build a home within the setback requirements. And are the circumstances results of actions taken by the applicant? And again, staff finds no. The application is not the result of any actions taken by the applicant. The needed variance was identified during the normal permitting process. Staff is providing a favorable recommendation on this request. The variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character, will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the regulations. And if approved, building and zoning permits will be required. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions from the board.
Thank you much, Mr. Dembo. Any questions for Patrick? I think we're pretty good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll now hear from the applicant, Mr. Alex Martin. Or, I'm sorry, yes, it is Alex Martin, yes, sorry. No, got my notes mixed up, apologies.
All right, thank you.
And if you would, I just need to swear you in, so would you please
Absolutely.
raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. And for the record, please state your full name and your address.
Yeah, Alex Martin, representing the Dries Company. Address is 211 Grandview Drive, Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, 41017.
Thank you. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Patrick, for presenting that. I want to just provide a little bit of context on the reason for this variance and the timing of it. In this case, the Dries Company, we are working with a customer. Reason why you see a very specific floor plan located on the plot plan in the exhibit. And in the permitting process is when we identified the discrepancy or the issue that we weren't aware of with how the front setback is to be applied on these flag lots. At the time that we found that discrepancy, that's where we needed to pump the brakes, and that's why we are here now before we go down the road any further. We didn't want to break ground. We didn't want to do anything out of the ordinary or anything like that. So in this case, the home that's currently located or situated on the plot plan is approximately 70 feet wide, approximately 67 feet deep. We are applying for this variance in this case because this is a very good representation of the size and style of homes in the rest of the neighborhood. Now, the neighborhood's not built out. However, there are several homes that are already built in there. If we were to abide by the setbacks as existing, as defined today, it would require a much smaller home than what we are able to do here, and we feel that that would adversely affect some of the potential property values of neighboring properties as well. We want to try and maintain the same style and size and feel as the rest of the neighborhood on these flag lots.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Martin? No. Fair enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I now have Mr. Austin Perkins as 4. No comment? Good to go. And just want to clarify, Mr. Matthews, you were on the third one, right? Not this one?
Not this one, but I do agree with them.
Okay. For the record, it just, he does agree, for the record. If you don't speak into the microphone, it doesn't pick you up, but we're good. Okay. Seeing that there is nobody else on this matter, I'll now go ahead and close the public comment portion of the hearing and open discussion amongst the board members. Do we have any discussion? None. None? I think this one's probably pretty straightforward. I'll go ahead and close the discussion by board members and invite any member to make it. I'll go ahead and make a motion on BOA 25-0042. A favorable recommendation for the variance to reduce the required front yard setback in the RCVS zone of the Erlanger zoning ordinance, as the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, and will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations. Do we have a second?
I second.
Motion made by Mr. Whalen, seconded by Mr. Rolfe. Again, a vote of yes is to approve as staff has recommended, and we'll go ahead and take a roll call vote.
Just to clarify real quick, that was for 25-0040.
4-0, yes. Did I state the wrong one?
I think you said 42. I just wanted to clarify for the record.
Yes, this is 25-0040 at 628 Blue Stream Drive. Good? Okay. Again, roll call vote. A vote of yes is in favor of the request. Mr. Rolfe?
Yes.
Mr. Farrow?
Yes.
Mr. McVeigh?
Yes.
Mr. Osterhag?
Yes.
And Mr. Whalen, yes. That is, the motion has been passed. All right, and we will now go on to our third item for this evening, BOA 25-0043, 626 Blue Stream Drive, applicant Dries Homes per Alex Martin on behalf of Charter Oak Land LLC. A request of variance to decrease the required front yard setback in the RCVS zone of the Erlanger zoning ordinance. In summary, the applicant proposes to construct a home on an existing lot with a front yard setback of 10 feet where 30 feet is required. And we have Mr. Dembo back up again.
And thank you very much. And again, I do want to submit the staff report, submitted materials, and presentation for the record.
Thank you very much, and that will be entered as Exhibit G. Thank you. All right, and Mr. Dembo, were the appropriate notifications made?
Yes, per KRS 100 requirements.
Thank you very much. And to the board members, are there any conflicts of interest? No. There are none. Are there any site visits to declare? No. Being none, Mr. Dembo, if you would raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
And once again, for the record, please state your name and position.
I am Patrick Denbo, Senior Planner, PDS staff.
Go for it. Thank you.
And as was stated, this is a variance request to reduce the front yard setback from 30 feet to 10 feet. So the site in question is approximately, it's just over 1 acre in size. It is, again, a vacant flag lot. And a portion of the flag stem, once again, is in the city of Edgewood. However, the entire building site is located within the city of Erlanger. The property is zoned RCVS, a single-family zoning district. And again, the portion of the flag stem that's in the city of Edgewood is zoned R1B. Again, that's a single-family zone, but once again, the entire site is in the city of Erlanger. Existing land use is vacant and open space, which is the same for the properties to the east, south, and west. Property to the north, existing land use is single-family residential. This is the submitted site plan. The proposed building pad is shown here in green. It'll have the following setbacks: 86 feet, 2 inches from the western property line where 30 feet is required. Again, that is a front yard. Approximately 176 feet to the rear property line. That's the property line to the east, so that is a rear yard. 10 feet from the northern property line where 6 feet is required per the zoning ordinance, and that is a side yard. And then 10 feet from the property line to the south where 30 feet is required, that is the front yard, and that is the setback in question. So again, this is a variance request to reduce the setback in the front from 30 feet to 10 feet along the southern property line. And again, for flag lots in the city of Erlanger, they are measured from the lot line that is closest to and most nearly parallel to the street right-of-way and not part of the flag stem. And again, this is the illustration from the zoning ordinance to explain that. And looking at this particular site, the yellow line on the southern property line there is the lot line that is most nearly parallel to the street right-of-way and closest to the street right-of-way, not being part of the flag stem. And again, before any variance is granted, the board must find that the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the character, will not cause a hazard, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the regulations. And again, staff, in making these determinations, shall consider the following. Are there special circumstances? And staff finds yes in this case. The variance does arise from special circumstances which do not generally apply to the land in the general vicinity. This, again, this flag lot was established prior to the adoption of the current zoning ordinance, which changed the method for measuring front yard setbacks. The former method was measured from the street right-of-way and included the stem, and again, a rear yard setback would have been required under the previous ordinance. Would the strict application of the provision deprive the applicant of reasonable use or create an unnecessary hardship? Staff finds no, the strict application would not create an unnecessary hardship for the applicant. The lot does contain necessary space to build a home within the setback requirements. And are the circumstances result of actions taken by the applicant? And staff finds no. The applicant discovered this during normal permitting processes. And staff is providing a favorable recommendation, citing that the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity, will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the regulations. And again, if approved, building and zoning permits will be required, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Patrick. Any questions from Mr. Dembo? There being none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Mr. Martin, if you'd like to come back on up. And just like the first one, I need to swear you back in. If you raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. And one more time, please state your name and your position on this.
Certainly. Alex Martin, I'm operations manager at Dries Homes. In this case, speaking on behalf of the property owner, Charter Oaks.
Great, go ahead.
All right. So not too much more to add on this one. It's a very similar situation to this previous flag lot on the previous case. Difference being here that we do not currently have a homeowner that we are looking or under contract to build on. That's a reason for some of the ambiguity on here. We have just a building pad that we represented on our exhibit instead of an actual floor plan. Just wanted to address the reason for the difference in the front setback variance request on this one. Part of the reason is exactly what I just mentioned. We don't know exactly what floor plan we're going to build on there yet. So instead of asking for a move to a 20-foot front setback, we're asking for a move to a 10-foot. We do have plans that we offer in this neighborhood that are slightly wider than the one that we showed on the previous one. However, I think also importantly to note is that we want to be also sympathetic to the fact that there is an existing homeowner on the property just immediately adjacent to the north as well. So being able to provide a little bit of leeway to maybe potentially move a house a little bit further south as we can on this lot, we think also benefits as well. There is an existing landscape easement on the northern property line that, it is actually the minimum side setback here is 6 feet. That landscape easement is 10 feet, and so we have no intention of encroaching into that, which is why in the exhibit I represented a 10-foot setback on that northern side of that building pad as well. So that's all I've got.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Martin?
Mr. Martin, is it ordinary to request a variance on a building that isn't designed?
It has happened before, yes. Actually, the last time I was here, it was a few years ago, but it was with the city of Erlanger, where we did not have any actual contracts or any floor plans designed for a couple of lots. However, we did request variances to setbacks in that case. Reason being, with us, we're not a custom home builder, but we do offer a lot of different options, and so it's very difficult for us to present what we think we know is going to be built on that lot. However, we do know the plan mix, the offerings that we have in there, so that's why I'm able to at least present a general representation of a building pad that would represent something we would build on the lot.
Thank you. Any further questions? We're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We do have two proponents, those for this, or Patrick.
Just really quick, I apologize. The wrong slide slipped in there. So I'm going to go back to one that has the correct information.
The first one on the list, I do have Mr. William Matthews. If you'd like to come on up. Sure.
With the yellow?
Yeah. That's fine.
All right, thank you. And if you would, just need to swear you in, if you'd raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, yes.
Thank you. And for the record, would you please state your full name and your address?
It's William Matthews,
and I am at 3290 Hemlock Drive, Edgewood, Kentucky, 41017.
Perfect, go ahead.
So I want to say thanks to Alex. I know Dries has worked hard to try to protect the property next to us. I am not against or going to object to this, but I would just ask for a condition. My wife and I built this home back in 2020. We obtained the lot in 2019. Took about a year and a half to build the house. It was our dream home. We were together, married 35 years, and she got sick in 2020 and passed away and never got to live in the house. So we, obviously that was hard, but we planned. Am I allowed to walk up there? Is that okay to do that?
Yes, you can walk up there, but just know that whatever you say has to be in the microphone or else it will not be on the record.
Yeah,
So
I just want to point a couple of things out.
Go ahead.
So it's hard to tell by this drawing. This land and this land is all flat. It's all flat. Mine is not. It runs completely downhill. So when it rains, you get a lot of water. After she passed away, we wanted to do something to honor her, remember her, all that stuff, so we planted 4 trees here along the property line. Just behind those trees is a swell that Tom Schreiber had put in, that's the other builder, and this will carry the water without it going over to my property. It will carry the water all the way to the back of the property. My condition, I don't think it's too much to ask, since you said you don't have.
if you would, back into the microphone so we can capture that. Go ahead.
My condition would be, since you don't have a home buyer, is that you would allow me to preserve those trees and that swell and have the home that you're going to design, build, or whatever be on this side of the swell, so it doesn't disturb the trees that we planted or the swell to carry the water. If that's agreeable, then I'm for it, but I just want to protect what we have. And also the other thing too is when we built the house, please just let me show this. Starting at Hemlock Drive all the way down before this property was developed and before we started building was an old fence line, and we always use that as the property line. So knowing that, that's why those trees were planted just on 626. It's really more across the property line. The 10-foot easement was put there to cover all the underground irrigation, electrical lines, landscape lines, lighting, and all that stuff, but 10 feet didn't cover it all. So when the builder acquired all that farmland and then started developing that, he put that swell behind the trees knowing that he would not build beyond that. But now that Dries is involved, I just want to make sure that Dries is okay with not doing that, honoring that to begin with, because it was just, and part of the fence is still there. So it's hard to tell from this drawing, but that's easy to tell where the property line is using that fence, but it's not actually the property line. The farm owner, the landowner before him, I guess, allowed himself a lot of footage to make sure that he didn't cross over into somebody else's property. But that's not something we were aware of back when the house was built. So, and the other thing too is where the trees are, it's graded, it goes down quite a bit. The elevation's a pretty significant change. I think Alex would come back up and agree with that. It's not flat. There's an elevation change. So if you're gonna, the one thing that caught me was the building pad. It looks like on the building pad that you're proposing a home that would come all the way over to the easement, which would then take out all those trees, remove the swell, and I'm just trying to protect that.
You'll have a chance to get back up in a moment. Any questions for Mr. Matthews? Anything else?
I have a question. Mr. Matthews?
Yeah, sure.
Just from my understanding, which side of the property in legal standing are the trees?
They are, it's technically, the trees are technically on the property of 626.
Okay.
And they're right at the top of the crest of where that elevation starts.
Okay, thank you.
Are they trees? Just
They're very close to the easement. We're not talking 30 feet, we're talking 5 or 6 feet.
Were they trees, were they there, or are they trees that you put in?
The builder took out the row of trees when they started developing this lot, and we replaced those trees and that privacy and the shade and everything else with these trees for my wife.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
The other proponent we have is Mr. Austin Perkins. Would you like to come up? No comment? Good to go. And again, we'll invite Mr. Martin to come back up if it's your opportunity to clarify or comment on anything. You don't have to, but it's up to you if you'd like to come up and make any further remarks.
All right, do I need to?
If you would, just state your name one more time.
Yeah, Alex Martin, operations manager with the Dries Company. So I do just want to mention that I think I mentioned in my presentation prior that we are 100% going to respect the existing landscape easement that's there. I don't want to promise today that we can or what we can or cannot do in respect to whatever's on the property of 626 that's outside of that easement. That being said, Dries always strives to be a good neighbor wherever we're building. So I can tell you that we can enter into conversation. It's nothing I can promise today of what can or can't happen. I don't have the authority to do that myself, and I don't believe that that is anything that this variance request today hinges on. However, I am happy to engage in conversation with you on solutions down the road. So unfortunately today I cannot promise anything outside of what's existing in that landscape easement. Doesn't mean that we can't talk about it in the future. So.
All right, any further questions, Mr. Martin? I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing that's everyone on the list, I will go ahead and now close the public comment portion of the hearing and open discussion amongst board members. Is there anything to discuss? See that there is none. We'll go ahead and close the discussion by the board members and invite any member to make a motion.
I'm making a motion to recommending this. The variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare. It will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity. It will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public, and will not allow unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations.
Thank you, Mr. Rolfe. And just to clarify, you are making a favorable recommendation as stated by staff?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. And we have a second on this motion.
I will second.
Mr. McVeigh seconds. Again, a vote of yes is to approve or vote in favor of the recommendation, the request as stated by staff. I'll go ahead and take a roll call vote. Mr. Rolfe?
Yes.
Mr. McVeigh?
Yes.
Mr. Farrow? Yes. Mr. Osterhag?
Yes.
And Mr. Whalen, yes. So that one go ahead and passes. And Mr. Matthews, I think as Mr. Martin indicated, he's more than willing to work with you. You can't make any promises today, understand your position in the request that you have, but hopefully you guys can continue dialogue and figure something out. So appreciate it. Thank you. That was the last thing we had on the meeting. If you guys would like to go, you don't have to stay, but you're more than welcome to. If you do leave, just ask you to do quietly so we can wrap it up here. I will now close the public hearing portion of tonight's meeting. And to staff, are there any preliminary hearings to discuss?
No, Mr. Chairman.
And are there any rehearing appeals to discuss?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And we do have one board item member. We get to vote in a chair and a vice chair. So is that a roll call vote or a yay, nay, or how does that work? Anyway. Well, I've been the chair for a couple years now. I'm glad to continue doing it unless someone else wants to throw their hat in the ring. It's Up to you, but I'm glad to continue doing it. If someone would like to make a motion.
I nominate Bob Whalen to continue as chair.
And I second that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Osterhag, second by Mr. McVeigh. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those appeal? None. So Mr. Whalen remains the chair. Vice chair, I think Mr. McVeigh has always been the vice chair. I think he's doing an excellent job at that, so I will make a motion to continue him as vice chair.
I'll second.
And seconded by Mr. Osterhag. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? None. Mr. McVeigh remains vice chair.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say thank you to all of the members, but particularly to our chairman and vice chairman. You guys do a great job, so thank you.
Thank you very much. To Patrick, still here. Do we have any staff items to discuss?
No staff items.
Perfect. Thank you. Any audience? But nothing. Everybody's cleared out. The next meeting is scheduled for, what are we, March 23rd. Do we have any items yet do we know of?
Not at this time. There are a few maybe that will be in the funnel, so we will definitely communicate to the members of the BOA once we know that.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll now open the floor for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rolfe, second by Mr. Osterhag. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. Being none, meeting is adjourned.